Hello everyone and welcome back to the STPL. We're here for Red versus aSh. It's week 1 of STPL Season 2 and we've got off to a relatively good start, I'd say.
I would say so. We've successfully broadcast a game of StarCraft.
Yeah.
So we're killing it. And the game was pretty interesting. I would say that this is a great place to satiate your I want to watch Brood War but nothing's on. But we actually do have some pretty good matchups coming up. I actually think our next one is fantastic. Kicks.
Yep.
Why don't you show us what it is?
Starting us off, we're going to have Eriador here. Now, Eriador, our Norwegian hero, he's been around since the dawn of time, very possibly. I know he was there when StarCraft was conceived. But he's basically been in the scene for as long as anyone can possibly remember. He is said to have taught Artosis as well, according to one of the Pylon Show episodes. I can't remember which one. But, I mean, Drone is just an amazing player. He's got a 53% win rate. That is with 8 wins, so that's not too shabby. He's here again in Season 2, and his opponent is going to be Dreamer.
Yeah, Dreamer is one of these. I hate lumping all of the Russian players together because you've got guys like Lancer X and SPX who are just like absolutely totally insane, and then there's actually just some random dudes out there. And so I'm always like, it's a big question mark for me. It's like which category do I put these players in? Because I'm not as familiar with Dreamer. We did see him a little bit last season, but I was not impressed or horrified by any of his games.
Yeah, I mean, Dreamer didn't really show us too much, so it's kind of hard to go through, but he still did play a decent number of games. His ELO, is relatively sort of in the middle, but he's still around 63 overall in the STPL ranking, so kind of cool to see how he's going to do here against Eriador as we go on to our next map, which is going to be Carthage 3. Now, Carthage 3 is a relatively old map, 2009 from the MSL. Really fun map. Looking forward to getting into the game, really, but I would give Eriador the kind of edge on any map just because he has been around so long. So it'll be kind of cool to see how Dreamer can deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, Eriador was watching this game or this map when it was being played by pro players, and it's another map that does have neutral buildings, but they're only right in the middle. There's basically there's a very long, narrow way to get straight towards your opponent's base, but it's not like a straight path. You have to kind of weave a little bit there. It is an interesting kind of map because you do get like your natural expansion with all that the goodness, but you also get a third base which is relatively well protected just because of the way the map like snakes and winds and stuff. Yeah. So could actually see a little bit of a longer game here, but it is only a 2-player map, so all of those crazy rush proxy shenanigans are definitely possible.
Yeah, so let's get into the game. It's Eriador versus Dreamer here on Carthage 3. A huge thank you, Sugo, for the $20 donation, man, if I'm reading that correctly. I am really bad at reading things, but that means a hell of a lot.
$25.
$25. Thank you so much, man. Means a lot. And starting us off here...
I can now buy 5 sandwiches for that.
Starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have the orange Zerg fighting for red. It's Eriador.
And his opponent in the bottom right-hand side, playing for aSh. This is the Russian Protoss player, Dreamer.
Okay, now I know you were saying you think the game could go on a little bit longer. Just to zoom out in case anyone didn't see my preseason map introductions here. Part of the reason for that is it's actually quite difficult to just straight up go and kill your opponent. If we have a look from Dreamer's base, as a matter of fact, it's probably able to do it from Eriador's base here. Eriador's more likely to be aggressive, but you have the natural, then you have a path to the middle, which is blocked by these 5,000 health temples, which we saw in the last map. So the only way through is over these 2 small bridges, well, they're kind of like land bridges, I guess, with the ramps, or you can go through the side bases as well, which is 2 small ramps as well. So Storm is incredibly good on this map. It makes it increasingly harder and harder to break through the longer the game goes on. So if you're going to see some aggression, it has to be early here.
Yeah, I would say proxies, like I mentioned earlier, are pretty popular just because it's very difficult to scout all of the possible proxy locations. I would say the most common proxy location is the third base, but it doesn't have to be. It could be whatever you want it to be. The sky's the limit. I've seen proxies that are at the natural expansion, but that's a little bit easier to scout. Although if you cram them up against the like either in the corner. Actually, I don't know if you can fit a building there, but if you you can also proxy the main because it's actually
Yeah.
a very large main and you don't scout most of it.
Yeah, it's quite difficult, especially early on, to try and seal the main in this map, and it's kind of weird in the fact there's not really many maps like it anymore. But there is just so much buildable area that Protoss, especially, are going to have a much better time here, just because they'll find it a lot easier to fill their gateways in.
Yeah, it actually is kind of weird when you try to build anything anywhere other than your main. It's like, well, where do I put this stuff here? Because it is, yeah, there's just like so much terrain. The map maker made a simpler version of this map and then was like, what if I just put more? Just like cliffs and random stuff everywhere. Very well populated map. And I'm not sure how much of that is artistic and how much of that is just, you know, them having strategical ideas here. Oh, Zergling's trying to block the probe. Of course they can't stop it from getting into the main.
Well,
But
as we all know,
gas timing.
they grease up the probes before they send them out, so it makes it a little bit harder to catch. Now, one of the funny things just about like the Korean pros at the moment is Bisu was complaining the other day, I think on stream, that Zerg players can seemingly catch his probe a lot easier now. So that's kind of funny. Because Bisu's probes just kind of never died before, so people are kind of catching up.
I will definitely say that there was an era of pro play back in the, well, especially like 2002, 3, 4, like that kind of era. Like this is when Nada's like being a badass and winning every tournament and stuff. Like there were some fundamentals that pro players just were bad at, just very bad at. Maybe that was one of them. Maybe like muta control was another one. Some of the pros were very bad at like macro, you know, simple stuff. But when you look at nowadays, like even just your average like S rank player on ladder is just going to be so good at just the tiny stuff. So you don't get as much stuff for free anymore. And I'm glad you pointed out that Hydra Den kicks because that's the direction we're going.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be 3 hatches into a Hydra Den. We're not going to see sort of 9734 or anything like that because we do have a lot more drones. Eriador is a lot more likely, I would say, to play much more straight up. Like if you saw the BSL the other day, another player similar to Eriador, I would say, is Erlingho, because he's been around for a long time as well, and they kind of... Like, Eriador definitely does play with a more modern tint to his style, but he definitely plays super macro heavy. He's a big advocate, if I remember correctly, of having 2 Evo chambers quite early, and you just kind of go for these big armies of Zerg units. Now, Dreamer did go Citadel first into Stargate, so we are going to see Legs very quickly and the Corsair. And that's going to help because he is going to need to put a little bit of pressure on because the third base is actually the lair here for Eriador. So he knows that that is likely going to be a point of contention and it could be under attack.
Indeed it could be. I'm just waiting for any realization of what the build is going to be to come out because wait, has Eriador... Yeah? Oh wow, okay. Has Area... Yeah, has Eriador scouted Dreamer at all yet? He's got that Overlord at the front, obviously, but...
Yeah, I think that's the only scouting he's been able to do.
Yeah.
Can we check? Yeah, he hasn't seen inside the main. I mean, realistically, when you're Zerg against Protoss, there's not really too much Protoss can do to you if you're playing super comfortably. So we already see Eriador's got his Sunken Colony up, and this is going to help against these Zealots.
Yeah, it sure is. Let's see the Zealots start running in here. I don't know if just brute forcing your way in is the answer. Obviously with Zealots, it's kind of what they do. But I mean, the SimCity is not terrible, and there's already enough there to defend. especially when you consider the sunken. So yeah, just being annoying, catching a few units like out on the map, harassing overlords, you know, not business as usual here. Although he is taking quite a bit of damage here on this Corsair, so you don't really want to lose that, although he is. Wow, that's not exactly great. He doesn't even finish killing off the overlord. But he does kill quite a few Hydras.
He does. Looks like Eriador's actually going to save his other ones by switching them into Lurkers, which is going to be really hard. There's going to be no Robo for a while here for Dreamer. And these fast Lurkers basically make any early aggression impossible. I know it looks like he really wants to try and deal with that Lurker Egg, but he is going to give up on it. Now, there's not actually that many units back here to defend the natural, so the Zealots are going to get in.
Yeah, and they're going to start focusing down this Sunken. The Sunkens do not have a lot of HP. It's only 300. But I guess a lot of those Zealots were actually pretty heavily wounded. They still kill one of the Sunkens, and there's a lot more. Wow, this is so many Zealots. I highly underestimated the number of Zealots that could be coming across the map right now. You're going to kill off the second Sunken. There's no Lurkers here. It's only Hydras. I think he actually only has one Lurker.
Yeah, this is going to get quite dangerous. You can see another Overlord goes down as well for Eriador. He's using drones against Zealots. That's not a thing you want to do. There's no speed on the Lings either. So, I mean, these drones are all that's keeping Eriador alive.
Yeah, wow, he does kill a lot of drones, a lot of drones. Even though now there's a Sunken, there's some Hydras, he killed so many drones. He has so many Zealots just rallied across the map. Now, obviously, this is a big commitment for our Protoss player. He's going to lose everything, so at the end of the day here, okay, he doesn't kill the second Sunken. At the end of the day, I'm not sure if continuing this aggression is worth it, because obviously you can just go to the third base instead. There's just nothing there. I mean, there is one Lurker, but you can run past the Lurker or just kill the drones. Like, you can just kill the drones and the base still does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Eriador did build a lot of drones before, but one thing I noted during that engagement was Dreamer actually misrallied, so his units were getting stuck on the temples in the middle. So just imagine if those Zealots had got there a little bit quicker. That is going to be one of the problems with, especially if you're playing this map for either the first time, or sort of you haven't played it too much in practice, or you've not played it in many years. Like, you are going to have to learn those kinds of things, but these players are going to have 14 weeks on these maps to learn those, so the more we go on, the less mistakes there's going to be.
Yeah, of course. And not that there's a ton of mistakes right now, but I think it's just about the refinement of play and of builds. Because a lot of these maps do require, like, builds specifically for these maps, and that's hard to do if you are playing on a map that's not in the ladder pool.
Yeah, now we do have the 4th hatchery on the way. Sorry, this will be the 5th one, because there is 2 at the 3rd base here. So 5 hatchery, no hive coming in just yet, but we are going to be on triple gas here now for Eriador. Or double gas, actually. I thought he already had his gas on his 3rd, but you can already see the drone count has swelled up. But look at the amount of Zealots that are running across. They've got 1-1 as well on their upgrades, so this is a massive, massive bonus here, and there should be an observer on the way with it as well.
Yeah, so even the Lurkers are not going to be able to save it. And here we go, trying to break through. Not actually that great Sim City. You need like an Evo chamber here or something. And you're right, the Observer is going to get there. Obviously,
Zealots are doing, well, they're taking so much damage from the Lurkers, though. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they will be able to kill off the Lurkers, so even though there's more coming in. Let's see if he focuses the Lurkers down. Actually going for the Hydras instead. I would have targeted the Lurkers, but if they get a chance to burrow, they will be able to start dealing damage. And, oh no, having to stack up on top of the Lurkers to kill them, that's not the way you want to fight them.
Yeah, that was so much damage from those Lurkers early on. Eriador's done a really good job to be able to defend this. I think, yeah, he transferred his drones away as well, so they all survived. Only really losing a few Lurkers for that many Zealots is massive, and the 3rd base is only just now on the way for Dreamer.
Yeah, this is a big commitment. It always impressed me every time Protoss players do these gigantic Zealot attacks. Like, wow, this is just really hard to stop. You're just killing a lot of stuff. But you are also sacrificing doing anything else. You're not getting a ton of tech. I mean, I guess he does have tech, but he's not building anything with it. You're not expanding. And at the end of the day, you know, you can't really do anything with any of those minerals, like build pylon walls or bases or these big, you know, concepts out on the map. But now he has finally, now he stopped building Zealots, can actually build buildings again. and that's what he's trying to do to set up this third base.
You know, it's kind of funny we've stabilized a bit in this game, because obviously Eriador's taken a lot of damage early on, but he's been able to drone up really, really well. His drone saturation is really amazing on all three of his bases. He's got his tech going, third gas is coming up, he's got his double upgrades going as well, so he's going to be keeping it up at least the best he can with the Protoss, who's also heading into 2-1 upgrade soon, so that's going to be pretty big. There's still not that many gateways though, only 4, 5 and 6 are on the way now, and we're going to start to kind of settle a bit in this game.
Yeah, well, let's not. Yeah, I guess we are. Okay, I was thinking like, you know, Storm, like you said earlier, is very, very good on this map, Kicks, especially when you go across these little up-down ramps through the middle. You just sit on top. They're way better than the pizza wedges on Gladiator. You just sit there, and that's like the only way that your opponent can get to you. Now, it's symmetrical maps, so you can always go around the other side, and that's kind of what we're seeing here with the Hydras trying to come around here. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see these morph into lurkers to try to defend. But speaking of defending, you do have to defend Eriador. There are quite
that's a
a
good
few
storm.
storms here. And observers, so you're not going to be able to just use a couple of lurkers to hold on. Now here come the Hydras fighting from the high ground. But
The storm!
Very good at that. Another one comes off, but it's not quite as good. High ground, though, is pretty sick.
Oh, and he's going to trap him in with 3 lurkers. This is pretty good as well.
He doesn't have any more storm. No, what a time to run out of storm. Look at these lurker spines. Oh, terrible, terrible damage Kicks.
Yeah, one of them... Oh no, I thought he actually held a lurker underneath one of the overlords, but unfortunately he didn't do that. But that's a lot of Dreamer's army going down again. And I mean, yes, he's going to save his Templar here, but you can't keep throwing away your units like this as Protoss. Eriador definitely got a good trade there.
Yeah, this time he's trading with a good economy. Before he was trading with a bad economy, so obviously that's a little bit more even. But if you're trading with a good economy, then you feel a little bit happier about that. So now, Eriador not only is going to be able to get back to mining at that third base, but also hit that fourth base timing as well, which is going to be just gigantic. Obviously, it's mineral only, so it's not terribly important, but it does allow you infinity Zerglings. So
not only that,
start to be pretty good.
It gives you a really good staging ground for the center of the map. Like, if you have this middle kind of wedge, it kind of goes the whole way down the map. If you can break those temples down and you get Sunkens pushing further and further towards it, all of a sudden that is going to be a place you can't go through. And it kind of gives you the perfect positioning to cycle around the whole map. Like, we can see Dreamer has been kind of moving to the right this whole time. But if Eriador holds the middle, it's going to be a lot harder to do that.
Yeah, for sure. The middle is such a huge, not like choke point, but it controls your ability to move to the other side of the map. So you do need to respect it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and you can already see Eriador is pushing further forward with Sunkens. This is going to also open up the ability to get this 5th base a little bit later. The first of the temples is down. And I mean, Dreamer may want to destroy the other ones as well, but maybe he's just trying to leave himself with a little bit of a choke point. The 4th base coming up for Dreamer as well, so this is a big moment. Can he do the damage he needs to do to kind of stifle Eriador for a little bit, or is he going to be in a lot of trouble?
Yeah, only 1 lurker here. What? It's dead. Doesn't want to lose the observer to the Sunken colony, or the Spore colony. A lot of Zerglings streaming forward. There actually aren't any Zealots in this army. So Gateway exclusive army without any Zealots. That's only Dragoons. And I mean, there are High Templar, which are doing their job there.
They both died to Storm.
Yeah, he stormed his own High Templar, but good kiting. The stutter step control on these Dragoons has actually been very good all game long. The problem is that it's only so good. Like, you will lose Dragoons to Zerglings eventually, and there are so many of these guys coming forward. The Dragoons are going to start to pop one by one, and that means that Dreamer once again has lost his army.
Yeah, and Dreamer's going to be in trouble. Like, he needs more Zealots. He's got 2-1 upgrades going now, which is good, but slowly but surely this Hive Tech is going to come in. I think Hive Tech is actually done now, so I believe Adrenaline might be done. Oh no, he's only actually just starting it, so Hive must have just finished. But just imagine that engagement just then if the Zerg had Adrenaline. Like, that would be a lot more dead Dragoons. Like, none of them would have survived there, I don't think.
As is, I'm pretty sure all the Dragoons are about to die again once this big clump of Zerglings on the high ground over here comes around and starts fighting. Now, there are a couple more storms, so obviously that is going to kill the Zerglings pretty quickly. But he does have to get there. Where's our Storm? Ah, there it is. Actually, double Storm just to kill Zerglings, which is maybe not... I mean, it's efficient, but... I mean, it's effective, maybe not efficient. There we go.
Yeah, the funny thing is, this is like the last sort of moment in this game you'll see a building not die to Lings, because when Adrenaline comes in, those Lings just do a crazy amount of damage to buildings. Now, looks like Dreamer is still feeling pretty comfortable with his army. He's going to push forward, make sure there's no 5th base coming up for Eriador, and he's got scouting going on the right side of the map as well, so he should be fairly safe. Now, when Eriador starts to get swarm in, that's going to be when things get a little bit harder. Suddenly these bases with a load of cannons in aren't going to do anything, and that's why we now finally see this Reaver transition coming in. He's going to have, obviously, Storm and Reaver, and all of a sudden those Lings aren't going to do too much. And 2-2 upgrades are done for our Protoss hero.
I do think he needs to get Reavers online, or at least Archons or something, because the later the game goes, the more... the Zerg has an insane unit advantage, and you have to have Splash against Zerglings. I mean, Protoss has a lot of units that can do Splash, but it's about the timing and your ability to use them. So, right now, for example...
the 4th base is in trouble.
Yeah, Cracklings are murdering this base down here, and maybe it'll get cleaned up here pretty soon. I mean, there's one Crackling left, so that can kill everything. But
yeah, luckily enough the Reavers come in now.
Yeah, and with that Reaver, I think he'll be okay, especially if he wants to put units to wall off at the high ground, at the ramp that kind of guards the base. He should be a lot more stable down there. But, I mean, this map is very easy to split map on, and so you want to have an advantage by being able to control an additional base. But what base is that going to be?
Yeah, now we can already see that Eriador is trying to take the right. Obviously Dreamer is taking the left, but Dreamer does have the advantage of that extra gas that Eriador is struggling a little bit to get at the moment. Now, if he can get some lurkers over there with Swarm, there's not really going to be anything that Dreamer can do to push through that, at least while he's got such a Dragoon heavy army. The second attack upgrade for our Lings are coming in soon, so that's going to be 2-2 on the Lings. There's 2 Carapace obviously, and 1 attack on the Hydralisk too. So here we go, the first Defilers are done, Consume is nearly done as well, and that's going to be the major sort of pushing point here for Eriador.
So let's see when Eriador wants to pull that trigger, because right now, even though there's a huge supply lead for Dreamer, it doesn't really tell the whole story, because obviously the Zerg player is going to suicide their units in over and over again. Now, one thing that might stop that from being necessary is Dark Swarm and Plague and stuff like that. The Defilers are out, they're juiced up. I guess we actually only have 1 Defiler, but there will be more, and that's going to make it a lot better. Actually, there's 2 Defilers. He's going to have to use that. He's got a Defiler at the front. There's a lot of Zealots there. Oh, nice Plague. Hits almost all the Zealots.
Yeah, that's a massive deal. Health, of course, on Protoss units does not regenerate after Plague, so suddenly these Zealots are a lot more squishy. Obviously they do have a lot of shield, but they also have more health than shield, so Zealots suddenly become a lot harder to use.
Yeah, and you can't just sit them in the map, or on the map in a giant ball, because you're just going to get plagued like that. Especially if the Defiler count gets a little bit higher. Yeah, exactly like that. 1 plague right there would basically end the game.
Yeah.
But look at what's happening on the other side of the map. A huge hit, and it's almost completely unscouted here. Eriador just going to bop this 9 o'clock base here. There is, 1 storm. Oh, it looks like there's a 2nd storm as well. But can he Dreamer rotate quickly enough to save it? He's got a bunch of Archons.
There are some Reavers here as well. The Reavers are going to be the big deal. If he can get the Reaver Scarabs off, it's going to do so much.
Okay, you're actually right, yeah. The shuttle with these 2 Reavers is actually going to be the new hit squad. And I guess you need some observers with that too. But this is how you run around the map saving and killing bases right now, which is kind of cool because it's very proactive. It just looks really sick. Oh, I thought this was a permanent Archon attack at the southern side of the base, but it's a cannon warping in. I'm like, okay,
oh, yeah, that would be weird if that was like an Archon like bugged out or something.
Yeah, or if it was just an Archon that never completed making. He's just going through like an eternal puberty.
Okay, that Hero Zealot was on 4 kills and he just decided to like end it all. He ran through all the lurkers in the middle of the map for some reason.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this guy's a veteran. This is how we support our StarCraft veterans picks.
Oh boy, 4 DTs. I really want this to be for Dark Archons, that'd be so sick.
Dark Archons would not even be bad, but I believe it's just to spread around the map at this point. Maybe
Yeah.
get 1 or 2 Dark Archons, because Maelstrom is very good against Zerg at the later stages of the game. Because what's about to hit, and actually it's on the way, is the Muta tech switch. So once you go Mutas to Sci-Pi Templar, you need Maelstrom to lock them down. Otherwise, you have to storm your own units, and that sucks. But the other thing that you should also expect against
Oh, it's Great
Eriador
Aspire.
is, well, not only Great Aspire, but Queens are on the way too.
Eriador is so good with his Queen's usage. Like, a lot of people think that Queens are only really good against Terran because obviously Spawn Broodling is so good against tanks. But if you can do it against Templar, it's just insane.
Sorry, I had to turn the stove off real fast.
Ah.
I realized I left that on. That was probably pretty bad. But anyway, defending the base, is it possible? The answer is yes, because just like STPL does, Reavers does too.
Okay, it looks like the Corsair is going to try and go in and kill some of these Overlords, flying directly over what they need to do, but Drone is just too clever. Eriador, building a Spore colony at every base as well, knows that the possibilities of his Overlords dying is very, very important, so he doesn't want that happening, and he's not going to lose all his drones to DTs, more importantly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the bane of many a Zerg player, but you're right. The big thing for me is that he still hasn't taken his 6th base. Like, what, okay, there it is. The drone's just now taking it right now. Nice. Good timing there. But this is actually such a slugfest. Both players just consistently, continually trading out their armies. But I love the DTs, because DTs trade so cost effectively. You usually can't have Overlords chasing Zerglings around the map. That's not what happens. So if you try to backstab, oh, here we go. Here we go. Where's the Queen and Snare? Yeah, there it is. But it only catches a couple of the DTs. Several are still Cloaky Boys. So really good usage, though, because now those DTs are going to be almost useless.
Yeah, the important thing to know if you don't know how Ensnare works, because it's not really in many games, Ensnare does actually reveal cloaked units, and it affects air units as well. So those observers are going to have to be more careful. The DTs obviously, I would say, have to be more careful, but they do about 1,000 damage, so it's not the biggest deal. But you can already see Drone throwing down more Ensnares, and just overall doing his best to try and deal with this army. And so many links coming in from multiple angles, and Guardians as well. Drone is just building everything.
Wow, this Guardian timing is insane. It completely crushes the Protoss army, and Dreamer has heavily over-probed here. He has so much supply in just probes. I'm looking at his army, and it's like scattered across the map. This is like the rebel forces after the Empire Strikes Back. There's not really any one big group of them. They're just kind of everywhere. And that's really good for Guardians, because now nothing can kill them.
Yeah, it's crazy, because usually like the Protoss would have at least a few Corsairs saved, but where he threw them away trying to get the DTs in for some damage, there's absolutely no recourse for this. Obviously Dragoons are kind of in, but Eriador's doing a really good job. I mean, these are 3/3 Dragoons, but you can see how quickly they're dying. It's just insane.
Yeah,
this is what he needs. Storm is good.
On the Guardians. I mean, they kill off a lot of the Dragoons, but losing Guardians are so expensive, so expensive. Plus, it takes building time of the Muta and like morphing time as well, which is a lot faster for Power Rangers than it is for Guardians.
Yeah, but morphing time isn't so popular for Guardians. Now, one thing that you don't often see.
There are even some episodes, to continue this shitty meme, of Power Rangers where they needed to morph so fast that they almost skipped the morphing time altogether. They just like fast forward through it. Some of them, they literally just play it on fast forward. And I'm just like, why didn't they just morph instantly every time instead of having this long protracted morphing sequence? I don't know. But I wish Guardians could do that, because then I'd win every game.
Now, the kind of crazy thing about how this is working is we don't barely see this, but Eriador's actually mined out his first 2 bases. He's almost mined out his 3rd as well. He has managed to take the base over in 10 o'clock, and obviously the Reavers are doing a good job, because Dreamer is going to have to try and secure the middle. But there we go. Looks like we do have some Guardians over here. They've not done too much damage as of yet, but they are going to be able to take down these cannons, and still there's no recourse for this. I hate to say it, but he needs scouts. Like, Scouts legit would be good against the Guardians right now.
And the Queens, too.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the Scouts would get played.
Oh,
or not
Parasite.
played, ensnared. Ooh, that Parasite's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Scouts would get ensnared eventually, in theory. But you're right. Anything to deal with
Plague?
these Guardians.
Oh, that's such a good Plague as well. He even misses the Parasited unit.
That's crazy. Wow. Is there anything Eriador can't do? Well, with this economy, probably not. I mean, he's still down in supply. This is one of the sickest slugfests I've ever seen. It's so rare that a game goes on this long and is this close. Both players have taken every base on the map, and the
Corsair's going to go down. He's focused the wrong Guardian. There's a Guardian with 10 health and it's not going to die, and the Queens are coming over.
Dun, dun. Here we go. They're pretty low energy.
Yeah,
so
they're not going to be able to do anything, unfortunately, but they just look cool.
So because of the way that Zergs take hatcheries and bases, they mine the map out quicker. So for instance, right now, there's about 50 supply of drones that aren't doing anything. It's more like 25, but you get the idea. There's just not a whole lot left to do. And I think Eriador is actually going to mine the map out faster. So in theory, oh, nice Scourge on the Corsair. But in theory, if the game goes longer, Dreamer's units will be more cost effective. Let's see, is there still a oh yeah, there's this Reaver down here.
Yeah, there's one Reaver.
I think it's about to have a lot more kicks.
Yeah, it just killed so many units there, and I mean, we do finally have this cleaned up. The trouble is, Dreamer did take this side base a lot sooner. It has been under constant attack pretty much from these Guardians on and off, so this is going to be another load of dead units, and he has no unit that can deal with the Guardians. There's 2 Guardians here, and it's going to take out the base.
Yeah, that base is pretty dead by now. I mean, it will eventually be pretty dead. But there are a few Mutas here as well, and Queens. Look at these Archons, man. Hero Archons getting underneath the Queens here, but they're not actually killing them. So, yeah, those Archons could actually do really, really well. Okay. Huh?
Oh, and snare.
I love the panic poop and snare. It's like, oh no!
It's like,
yeah. The Archons just play the brown noise when they come up to the Queens. But I mean, all the bases are pretty well defended, and Eriador at this point is starting to think about the big picture, right? He's just thinking, okay, well, where do I need to attack? Because he's not using his units effectively. There's a ton of like random Guardians around the map. There's a ton of random Queens and unburrowed Lurkers, and he could put everything together. But right now, he's kind of throwing away a few units here and there. Oh, he's going to try to suicide on the Nexus and take it out. Oh my god, Cracklings deal so much damage, Kicks!
Yep, but the Reavers do more. Does he have the Reaver upgrade? I can't tell. He's just built something.
Oh, he split the Zergling off to tank the Reaver Scarab so that it wouldn't splash to kill the second Zergling and give it enough time to kill the Nexus.
Okay, he does have the
How
Reaver damage upgrade. Now, the one benefit, I guess, for Dreamer is that base is almost gone. He needs the gas from there, though, because Storm, the longer the game goes on, Storm is going to be more and more important. And just imagine, with all of these Guardians that have been killing everything, he could have stormed them. Now, the issue he's got now is he's got an Archon that's, or he's got 2 Archons that are parasited. And that just gives Eriador complete vision over this entire army. And he's going to send in everything.
I mean, he's gonna have to wait. What Protoss units does Spawn Broodling work on? It doesn't work on Archon.
It works on Templar, I know for sure.
It works on Templar for sure. I think that's the most important usage of it in ZVP, because you don't really see Queens in ZVP all that often. Usually it's a ZVT kind of thing.
Yeah, and even then, it's a rare thing. It's almost like a thing you only see against mech. But when we get to see it, Eriador, of course, King of Queens. So, I mean, he's got a good sitcom named after him. We've got Guardians coming in on this gas, and this is going to be a problem. I guess the gas is depleted now, so realistically...
How has he really not made any scouts this game? Like, scouts are so good.
Against A, yeah. And I mean, he doesn't really have anything that can kill them either, so...
I mean, I guess if he's strapped for cash, I can understand, because he has 6k minerals with 0 gas, so...
Oh, Plague as well. Eriador's Defiler usage has been really good this game.
Yeah, I think these Guardians are honestly going to be what wins Eriador this game, because Dreamer has never built a unit to counter them at all.
Yeah, he kept building Corsairs, but he just kept losing them. Even like sending them in one by one. He's got a Corsair over here at the 9 o'clock, but it's just not moving in. I mean, this base is about to mine out. Dreamer's going to be at 7k minerals by the end of this base. And all he's going to be mining is minerals. He's not going to have any more gas. So, what's he planning to do? Just build mass zealots? I mean, that's his only option. And they don't shoot guardians.
No, they don't. I think this is going to be the end of everything. The Reaver goes down to the Guardians. This base will eventually die to the Guardians and thus to everything else because they killed the Reavers. And even though it is mined out, you're right, Kix, it's about the gas. He needs as much of it as he can, even though the Geyser's depleted. He's going to lose all of these drones, or probes rather, but that doesn't really matter. He does have a pretty sizable army in the middle of the map protecting that mineral-only base, but once again, it's mineral-only.
Yep.
So you can't really do a whole lot with that, and that is that's going to be pretty rough to deal with eventually.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing he can really opt to do that may be quite useful... Whoa, what the hell was that Scarab doing? He needs to go, like, mass Reaver. He has the money to replenish Scarabs. And this Reaver's got 33 kills rapid, I'd just like to point that out. This is a valiant Reaver. It's on 1 health now as well, thanks to the Plague.
Wow, the little Reaver that could. Somewhere Snow's Reaver senses are twitching. He knows that somebody's getting close to his record.
Oh, there's Reaver harass at the 9 o'clock.
Oh, no! Not anymore. Thanks, Kix.
Yep, cast a curse. Okay, it looks like we're going to have one more attack possibly from Dreamer here. He doesn't have that many units. His all his bases are mined out. So this is such an epic game, but another Queen coming in. Oh, it does the... Oh my god. He can actually just Broodling everything now, I think.
Yeah, I actually think you can't really build Templar anymore because they're just going to get Broodling. Yep, there we go. So no more storms for you. Yep, Broodling. And, that's free real estate.
Yep.
I don't know, man. He's running out of gas. He can't build... I mean, he could build Infinity Zealots. Why isn't he switching into, like... Okay, he is switching into Mass Zealot production, but he doesn't actually have... You know, if you think about a normal Protoss game, especially versus Terran, you're going to have a bunch of gateways. He actually doesn't have a bunch of gateways. He has 6 gateways. That's it for everything.
Yeah, and, I mean, the only option he's got... The thing is, Eriador is going to be mining out soon as well. He has to try and get, like, the perfect engagements. If he can somehow kill all of Eriador's army and take that base in the 3 o'clock position, maybe he has... Thing is, even then, he's not doing that badly. He's still got a 7k bank, so...
Yep. I mean, what do you do with that except build Zealots? It's like at this
he
point,
needs to build a Nexus and get this gas. Like, this gas is the most important resource on the map for him right now. Because otherwise this Queen, look, another Parasite on another Templar. You can't do anything about that as Protoss. That's it, and a Plague. It gives you vision over everything.
Oh gosh, that's so bad. Now he's
Broodling. Oh my goodness, 2 Broodlings.
You might as well like ensnare the Zealots there too to just make them totally useless. And
yeah.
Somehow you get a Devourer to hit them as well, so they have all 3 kinds of colored goo on them.
Oh, that'd be so sick. But Devourers unfortunately can't hit ground, so...
Darn.
Need to be an air unit.
Right.
That's cool. There's a shuttle we can do with that. Oh my god, even ensnaring the Reavers at the back as well. Eriador just coming in from so many different angles now. This is the final bastion of hope here, and this... Oh my god, if this Lurker just shot these probes, it would have so many kills. There we go, 2 kills, 10 kills, 8 kills in a single spine. Oh man, poor Dreamer. Eriador's done a really good job here.
Wow. Well, I mean, I think eventually the game is going to go to Eriador, obviously, because he's still mining at this point. I guess both players still are, but mining gas is...
But the Reavers are doing work, man. This is summon. Oh,
I mean,
okay.
It sure is, but
not
you know
anymore.
what's also something, Kix? Having units. And one of the players doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah, it's funny. We start the game with Zealots and Dragoons versus Hydra, and 35 minutes later, or 36 minutes later, we have Dragoon versus Hydra again. And, I mean, this is the final mining base. He's trying to hold on, but he's actually got nothing that can kill Guardians. So, these Guardians are going to go down. The Reavers are going to go down as well. Nice Storm. And the Guardians are actually dying. The Dragoon's doing a really good job there. But there's just so many Hydras everywhere. This is crazy.
Yeah, and eventually the Hydras will win the game. I mean, can you really say it's the Hydras though? Those Guardians, man. Ugh, disgusting.
Yeah, the only thing that could have made those Guardians better is if they spawned 2 Broodlings whenever they fired.
Like Swarm, or like
yeah. I mean,
I love whenever Kix watches StarCraft 2. It's just like, wow, these Guardians are way better than the other Guardians.
To be honest, I'm kind of thinking the opposite after this game. These Guardians are disgusting.
These Guardians are actually just completely ludicrous. Well, anyway, this base is gonna die, Kix, and with it, the sad, sad Protoss dreams of Dreamer. There's that Les Miserables song, I Dreamed a Dream, or whatever. Well, the dream is about to become a nightmare, Kix.
Yeah, and I mean, he's trying to run away with all those probes to try and get some extra gas. His base is going to go down. He's unfortunately not been massing enough. Another ensnare going down on the Zealots, making it impossible for them to really go and do anything. I mean, Eriador's almost mined out of his other bases as well, so I don't think Dreamer has a chance here, but like, he's got 3.5k minerals worth of Zealots in him, so if he can get 35 Zealots, he can't actually deal with a single Mutalisk, because it's actually becoming a Guardian now, just for good measure.
I think if you have 35 Zealots, you don't really care about a single Mutalist. But,
yeah.
I don't think he'll ever have 35 Zealots, and even if he does, the Zealots will be plagued, so good luck with that, my dude.
Yeah.
Another plague, just in case.
He already plagued them before, they're all on like 1 health anyway, but he's like, nah, I just want to be careful. I mean, Dreamer's done such a good job this game, but Eriador is king in these kinds of crazy games, and this game's a good example why. He just makes use of the entire Zerg arsenal to slowly whittle down his opponent.
You could say he's queen in these entire
yeah,
crazy
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
And now we're going to see the infinite Zerg swarm rally across the map, because unlike Protoss, the units that Zerg can build with only minerals are insane. So now we're just going to watch everything die. So this is the sad moment of being a Protoss, but also it feels pretty great to just watch Zerg units flip.
Yeah, I mean, Dreamer, I think he's thinking, well, Eriador must be like running low on money now, so he's microing 2 Dragoons back. GG! Dreamer taps out, and Eriador, after 40 minutes nearly, takes game number